What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 234 of Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room, and thank you for hanging out with me each and every Tuesday night at 8:30. This is where we ride out the craziness. The War Room family gets together every Tuesday night to talk about music, talk about sports, whatever it is that's going on in all of our lives. Got to say what's up to Heidi, Jessica, Hines is here, Lisa, Donna, Mark, Elsa, Christina, Michelle is here, Tracy and Kevin, and of course my co-host, my partner in crime, the Wayne to my Garth, the one and only Wednesday the Goth Pug, who's joining me here in the War Room. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a good week. Still mourning the Celtics loss, Game 7, a total blowout at the Garden. Absolutely brutal. Christina says, what's up, fam? Michelle says, hey, MC and Wednesday. Tracy says, what's going on, everybody? So it's good to see everybody. Glad everybody's getting together. Jessica says, Tina Turner passed away at the age of 83. Yeah, I know. We were talking about that a lot last week on the air because of all of the obvious influence, the rock and roll influence, all the rock stars that were commenting on it. Got to say what's up to everybody at WBZ who sent the camera crew out to MCHQ to join me to talk about Tina Turner and join me in MCHQ, which was really cool. Is this where the Celtics funeral is? Mark wants to know. Seriously, like, so brutal. I was on such a high after that buzzer beater in Game 6 that I was like, holy shit, like Johnny Damon was at the game with his 04 ring on. I was like, they're actually going to pull this thing off. And then Game 7, it was like we had 3 guys out on the court and they had 6. It was insane. It was like, what's going on? What's up, Travis? He says, Devil Horns time. What's going on? Wednesday's a little wound up today. Heidi says, Carrie, I heard on the radio, you heard on the radio this weekend, what, about Tina Turner, Heidi? What did you hear this weekend? Travis says, doing great to see you. I will take the blame for Game 7. I had pants on, says Keith. Well, that'll teach you for wearing pants, Keith. For anybody that's new to the War Room, by the way, Keith has a aversion to pants. It's one of the many inside jokes. So if you're new to the War Room, you got to let us know in the comments that this is your first time joining us in the War Room. The other thing you got to do is let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you go to the very first post of the Mistress Carrie blog at mistresscarrie.com, we have something called the Dictionary, which is all of the glossary terms and inside jokes all explained so that you can get kind of caught up with everything that's happened over the last 234 episodes. Wednesday smells the cookies in my pocket, and she won't leave my pocket alone. Will you back up and get down? Can I have a high five? Thank you. Sit, paw. Other paw, sit. Good girl. Tracy says, Keith, no pants. Jonathan says, I'd have to wear pants if I visited Keith. Look, you guys are taking all of our luck into your hands when you're going to be around Keith with pants on, basically. Mark says Keith was showing his Celtics shamrocks. Let's see. Voorhees says, I am watching from a low Earth orbit. Well, that's fantastic. I hope the reception is good and you're getting it by satellite or wherever you're getting it from. Wednesday, no, be a good girl now. Mummy's very thirsty tonight. Lisa says, oh, the cookie. I'm listening from Scituate, Patrick says. What's up, Patrick? Thanks for watching from a town no one from outside of Massachusetts can pronounce. Wednesday says she wants treats. Jessica, I am very well aware. Oh my God, I'm naked, says Heidi. And that's totally fine. If you're in your own home and it's when we take the show out on the road that you don't want to wear pants, get down. That it could be a little problematic. That's all I'm saying. Keith says, prove it. Oh my God. So lots to go over this week. It was a very busy week. What, can I help you? Huh? For anybody that is not familiar with Wednesday's role, that's her Instagram. And Wednesday is basically the cuteness factor of the show. She begs for cookies and then she leaves unless she thinks someone sent her something in the mail, and then she comes back for a mail call later. Hines says, my daughter works at the outlet mall in Merrimack and she saw Alice Cooper. No way, Hines, really? Alice Cooper gave an interview recently. He was asked if he was ever going to retire. And he said, people ask me, why don't I just want to play golf every day? And he said, well, I play golf every day anyway. And then I play a rock show. He said, when I go on tour and nobody shows up, that'll be when I retire. Now, Alice Cooper could have been in town because the Hollywood Vampires were supposed to play the SNHU Arena tonight and then at the Box Center Wang Theater in Boston tomorrow night. However, it seems that Johnny Depp hurt his ankle at the Cannes Film Festival, and the doctor said it's severe enough where they don't want him to travel. Now, I don't know if that means it's an actual bone break, but the Hollywood Vampires had to reschedule their shows, and they rescheduled them for the end of July. So tonight's show at the SNHU Arena in Manchester is rescheduled to July 29th. Tomorrow night's show at the Box Center Wang Theater in Boston is rescheduled for July 28th. That info has all been updated on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So if you have tickets, I know on the Pike we gave away a lot of tickets for the Manchester show. If you've got tickets, hold on to them because the makeup tickets are, the makeup shows are definitely coming. They're just coming at the end of July. Steel Panther did great on America's Got Talent tonight. Brendan, I didn't get a chance to see it. Can you put in the comments what they did? Because I want to be able to go back and I want to find out what the judge's reaction was and why Steel Panther was on America's Got Talent tonight, which is kind of hilarious. Heidi says, Carrie, you need to come to Vegas to go skydiving with me. Heidi, I think they only do tandems in Vegas, right? That they don't allow experienced jumpers there. I think it's because of the winds, because it's so hot and windy once you get off the strip. So I don't think they do experienced jumper jumps, like for me to bring my own rig and to be able to go and jump. I could be wrong though, but they do a ton of tandem business. You can also jump off the Strat, which I've done. I did it during the day. I want to go back and do it at night, but the Stratosphere, the needle at the end of the main strip before you get to Fremont Street, you can jump off of that and it's awesome. Keith says naked skydiving. Keith, let me give you some advice about your not wanting to wear pants and your questioning skydiving naked. I once did a lingerie jump with a bunch of girls, and let's just say my landing wasn't stellar, and it took a while to remove the sand from all the places that the sand found its way into because my landing wasn't great. I've seen videos of guys jumping naked, and it looks like it hurts. You also got to be really careful about the leg straps because there's a lot of things moving around. And ladies, the chest strap for your rig with boobs, it's chafing. It's a lot. The naked skydiving, I'm all set with that. I'm good. Thanks. Heidi said, I'll find out. Yes, the Stratosphere, Carrie, I'm down. The Strat's really cool. You wear a full harness. They clip you to a cable, which kind of slows your descent. And then you put a GoPro on your wrist. If you go on my YouTube channel, there's actually a video of me jumping off the Strat. It's really cool. And they were like, you're going to love doing it during the day because you're literally facing the strip and you just jump off the building. But I really want to go back and do it at night because it wasn't cheap, but it was very cool. Michael says, the harness must be uncomfortable when the chute comes out. One big jerk. Michael, I can tell you that I've heard from experience, not that I would know, but the guys say that if anything goes rogue and accidentally gets under one of those straps when the chute opens, yeah, no. You don't want that. A lot of the tandem masters, when they get guys geared up to go, they all have code for putting the cash and prizes One guy I heard say, put all the furniture in the middle of the room. You don't want anything going rogue and getting under a leg strap because the deceleration trauma on your nutsack would be something to behold. What's up, Eric? He says, guess who's back? Heidi says, I work in Vegas, all paid for trip. Heidi, must be nice. Lisa says, you are in trouble, man. New meaning to busting a nut. It's not even a joke. I've seen guys that like had things go rogue and land and just be like doubled over. Like you really got to make sure you're keeping the balls from going foul in that baseball game for sure. Brendan says, Carrie, here is the link. Oh, Brandon, is that me jumping off the Strat? Did you put the link in the comments? If you did, thank you very much. An absolute blast. You definitely don't fall as fast as skydiving, and obviously you're not falling as far, but it's the first step, like the step off the Strat, like you're like, whoa, just getting out there and like you're holding on to stuff and then you face, and then they're like, okay, on the count of 3, just go. And you just fall off the building. It's very cool. Might give myself a black eye, says Keith. I'm so glad I've got a vag, says Heidi. Heidi, that comes with all of its own stuff, and especially the boobs. I've seen girls skydive topless, and it's a lot. If you have any boobs at all, especially old boobs, just not good. How did we get on this topic, by the way? Wednesday, they're all gone. They're all gone. There's no more cookies in my pocket. See? They're all gone. She literally wants to get in my pocket because she thinks there's cookies there. Eric says, it's summertime. I put the 67 Camaro on the road. The fat boy is on the road all summer. Nice. Mark says, skydiving naked, us guys have a built-in parachute. Oh, man. Yeah, sand. Exactly, Voorhees. Exactly. I'll leave the comments to myself, says Jonathan. What link is this? That was the link of me jumping off the Strat, I believe, in Vegas, as I think the YouTube video. I did it back when I was on the air at AAF, brought the video back. They put it up on the YouTube channel, and all of those videos, the old AAF videos, are still up on YouTube, but I added all of them to different playlists on my YouTube channel so that you can find them still. So it's all Keith's fault. Keith says it's my fault. Brianna says, yeah, I'm good. I want the girls strapped down. Brianna, it's not even a joke. You don't want that stuff moving around because 120, 130, 140 miles an hour. Then you get the strap up underneath it. It's the same stuff as like a seatbelt webbing. Like it's not soft and gentle. It's made to save your life. So naked skydiving, the link is for Steel Panther. Oh, okay. Yep. I can't wait to see Steel Panther on America's Got Talent. I haven't watched it yet. No, the link I posted was Steel Panther from America's Got Talent. Thank you very much, Brendan. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Wednesday, there's no more cookies. Stop. She has been up my butt today. Like literally, I can't be more than a foot away from her all day today. There's no more. All gone. All gone. Okay, can you just sit with me? Can you just sit and be a nice girl and look cute? Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? Yes, I think you can. Where's the lingerie video, Keith? There is no lingerie video. Trust me. We made sure the video cameras were off. Heidi says, hey, Carrie, can you get Stained and Godsmack tickets for Vegas? Probably not, Heidi. Most of the time when I get tickets, they're for local tickets. A little bit harder to get tickets for stuff that's out of town unless I'm going to be there. And then I can usually, like last time I was in Vegas, I got a chance to see Godsmack on my 50th birthday. But Brianna says, I'm bruised from jogging. It hurts. Flying in the sky, just like a free bird. Yeah, they would just rip off. Yeah, you got to find the right bras. I went through like 7 sports bras before I ran the marathon for sure. Wednesday says, give me treats and belly rubs. Yeah, Jessica, I know. It's what she's been doing the whole time. See the little pink belly there? See that pink belly? Oh, look at that pink belly. Let's see. All right, so here we go. So we got to talk about everything that's going on. So first of all, we got some events coming up. First, we'll talk about the events for the Pike. Rockfest is on the way, September 9th at Indian Ranch. That is some of the biggest tribute bands in the world, including the Prince tribute band Lovesexy that is going to be headlining the show. All of these events, by the way, you can get more details. Go to the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com or just go straight to the Pike website, pikefm.com. The Pike's 50th birthday bash is also coming up September 2nd at Indian Ranch. George Thorogood and the Destroyers celebrating 50 years of rock, and it's the Pike's 19th birthday party. So that is happening September 2nd. Tickets on sale for that. But what's happening immediately is Hairfest, which is coming up August 19th. This one's first. The Metallica tribute, the Four Horsemen, headlining the show with openers Shot of Poison, also The Priest, Welcome to the Jungle, and Osmosis. So all of these shows are going to be an absolute blast. Mike Shuchuk Perks and I are going to be there for all of those shows, and it's going to be a good time, so you definitely don't want to miss them. Speaking of The Bone, this is coming up on Saturday. 106.3 The Bone presents Bad Flower at Aura in Portland, Maine with Des Rocks and Tiger Cub. So if you're going to be up in the Portland, Maine area, I will see you guys at this show at Aura in Portland coming up on Saturday night. Details on this show are on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com, or you can go to 1063thebone.com as well. And in case you didn't know, I guess still kind of new information, you can hear me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 1063 The Bone in Portland, Maine. And you can go to 1063rocks.com or 1063thebone.com and download the Bone app. You can listen to the podcast, stream the station. They even have this really cool feature called Open Mic. And it's basically a voice text message that comes to us in the studio, which is pretty cool. So you can actually kind of record a little voicemail or whatever if you download the Bone app. Cocktail recipe of the week. So if you're new to the War Room, every week we go into one of the bartender books and find a cocktail recipe of the week and try to put some of your booze that you've got laying around the house to good use. All right, so this one is called the Spice Whirl. And it's got spiced rum, which usually around this time of year, people want to drink a lot of rum drinks because it's summertime. So it's got an ounce of spiced rum, a half an ounce of triple sec, an ounce of fresh orange juice, an ounce of papaya juice, and a half an ounce of fresh lime juice. It says you shake the ingredients, strain into an ice-filled highball glass, and serve with a straw. So again, that's rum, triple sec, orange juice, papaya juice, lime juice. And I think obviously you could garnish with an orange wedge, maraschino cherry. I think it would be really good if you garnished it with some kind of pineapple or whatever. But I thought because of all of the juices that it would be really good for the summer. So there you go. That's the Spice Whirl. It's going to be 90 degrees this week in Massachusetts. So if you're looking for something, it's kind of like a Mai Tai kind of, but it's only got one kind of rum and the triple sec, but all of the fruit juices I thought would be pretty delicious. So Penny says, I'm going to be in Portland in a few weeks. So make sure you check out the Bone when you're in Portland. Is it Bar Rescue certified? The American Bartender's Handbook? I don't know, but does Bar Rescue have a bartender guide? Because I would like to have that here in the War Room. That would be cool. Ryan says, love hearing you on the air again, on the Bone, up here in OOB. I listen every afternoon now, Ryan. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I might have some more great radio news coming at some point this summer as well. So you got to stay tuned for that. Heidi says, I'll have to try this since I'm a bartender in Vegas. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, Heidi, I'm just always trying to mine for ideas, and it sounds like a really good, like warm weather, like rum kind of fruity drink. And I'm not the biggest spiced rum fan. I told you guys that I had a unfortunate incident with the captain on my 16th birthday that he and I are still kind of fighting. But if it's something that's super fruity with rums in it, especially Mai Tais are my absolute jam in the summertime. So let's see. I want to hear Carrie on the bone, says Keith. The swoob struggle is real, says Tracy. It's going to be really bad later on this week for sure. So that is one of the cocktail recipes that you get every week here in the War Room. If you're new, I want to talk to you guys about the Mistress Carrie podcast. So last week, we announced last week's episode, which is episode 155, featuring Jay Buchanan from Rival Sons, who, by the way, are playing at the Palladium tomorrow night. So if you have never seen the Rival Sons, they're doing some dates with the Smashing Pumpkins, which they're doing, I believe, at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion later this summer. And then they're also out on a headlining tour, which they're playing at the Palladium. And I also believe they're playing the State Theater in Portland later this year. Rival Sons are such a fantastic band. Definitely going to the show at the Palladium tomorrow night to see them. Probably go see them again in Portland. They're just really, really great. So I talked to Jay Buchanan. One of the reasons why I wanted to release the episode last week was that A, the show at the Palladium was happening this week. B, the new album is coming out this Friday, and we'll talk about all the new releases that are coming out this Friday because there are a ton of them. But the other reason is Jay Buchanan gave a great description about what it was like to sing the national anthem at Gillette Stadium. And it turned out to be the final game of Tom Brady's career in a Patriots jersey, which was the wild card game of 2020. And so I just loved him talking about it, about the whole experience of it. His, just kind of talking about what a difficult song it is to sing. Jewel is getting roasted right now because she sang the national anthem over the weekend. And she kind of changed it up a little bit with an acoustic guitar and gave it more of like a singer-songwriter vibe. And some people were really, really mad. And to me, as long as you're not trying to be overtly disrespectful, like if you're not changing the words, if you're not making fun of the anthem in some way, I don't have a problem with people trying new things. I think what gets most people upset is that they want to sing along. And when you kind of rearrange it or change the melody of it, it makes it harder for the fans at whatever gathering you're at to participate. And that kind of bums people out. But I thought Jewel did a beautiful job as far as her singing voice. I liked the acoustic version. I think we saw like Chris Stapleton's amazing anthem at the Super Bowl this year. He stuck more to the original melody and arrangement of it. But if you haven't seen Jewel's arrangement, she definitely is getting some hate online. And other people are like, look, I was at the race and I thought it was beautiful and very tasteful and very well done. But it's one of those things that's very polarizing that, if you try to do anything outside of the ordinary, you kind of get roasted for it. Jay Buchanan and I actually got into a conversation about some of the best versions of the anthem that have ever been done. He actually brought up the Chris Stapleton version. Michael says that she changed the words at the home, took out the home of the brave and put in the home of us. She did? I didn't catch that part. Eric says it's the politics of it. Fergie was by far the worst ever. I've sung the Star Spangled Banner several times. I would rather sing the classical music because the Star Spangled Banner takes everything a singer has to do well. When I talked to Jay Buchanan on the podcast, I attributed it to running the Boston Marathon. That he said the thing that really hurts people when they sing the anthem is that they start out too high and then there's no way to go. And the same thing happens because Jay Buchanan's a runner. And so I gave the analogy of the marathon because there's so many people that start the Boston Marathon and they go out too fast because of all of the downhills. If you go back and listen to the John Connolly episode, John Connolly from Seven Dust before he ran, that was part of the strategy is to hold back energy because if you go out too fast, by the time you get to the hills, you're dead in the water. And if you start the anthem too high, the song just gets higher and higher and you literally have no way to go. What about Roseanne Barr's? I've heard both arguments, right? I'll use me as an example, right? And I'm not defending Roseanne Barr. I'm not getting in the middle of this debate. I have heard the argument that she was trying to be blatantly disrespectful. She claims that she was asked to do it, and that's how she sings, because she basically can't. So I would say that if I ever accepted the invitation to sing the anthem, which I never would, you guys have heard me sing Happy Birthday to Brianna. You know I can't sing. So if I tried to sing the anthem in a performance, I sing it when I'm places where it's being performed and everyone at the game or wherever is singing along to it. But me singing it, people would probably say it was disrespectful because I can't sing. Even though that wouldn't be my intention to be disrespectful, which is why I would never accept the invitation to sing it, because I know I can't sing. Jessica says Chris Stapleton did an amazing job singing the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl. I agree, although I still hold that Whitney Houston's version is still kind of GOAT, because her voice, she started off at the perfect pitch. She had the power to finish strong. It was a very patriotic time in the United States at the beginning of the Gulf War. I just think her version is really hard to beat. Although Jay Buchanan brought up another really powerful version that I went back and watched afterwards, which was the Marvin Gaye version that he did a long time ago at a basketball game. And his version is great as well. Definitely tried something. It had bongos and stuff. And I think if you're a performer that's known, like Jewel is known for her acoustic performances and for the way she sings. And so it's kind of incumbent on the people that are making the invite as well, that the person that's going to sing the anthem is going to sing the anthem the way that they sing. So, Donna says it was the spitting at the end, not her tone, so to speak. Are you talking about Roseanne? Yeah, I don't understand why you would do the anthem like in character, which I think is what she was saying that she did, is that there's Roseanne Barr, like the comedian, the actual person, and then there's Roseanne, the character she played on television, which is kind of loosely based on herself. I think she claimed that she was doing the anthem as her character, but I don't know. Let's see. Brian Landry's version was amazing. I don't know if I saw that one. Brianna says it was still beautiful to me. Which one are you talking about, Jewel? Yeah, I thought it was nice. I mean, changing the words, not okay with that. But I think if you're an artist and you are going to, I didn't think it was disrespectful that Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield shredded the anthem at the Giants game. They always have Metallica night at the Giants game. I don't think that's disrespectful. I don't think Hendrix's version is disrespectful. Let's see. Lisa says, how's the new studio coming? Wait, which new studio are you talking about, Lisa? The Pike Studio? I think it's still in the works. Mark says, all I say is try to do the anthem in front of thousands and not be nervous. Well, that's the thing. And there have been a lot of people that have, been very opinionated about the anthem and then gotten nervous and screwed it up themselves. It happened to Aaron Lewis, who's a guy that, talks openly about how patriotic he is and still screwed the anthem up. And it's possible. You get nervous. Lisa, my studio's done. I put some new pictures up because I had all the good lighting on when WBZ sent the cameras out last week. But my studio looks and sounds great. MCHQ is fantastic. So anyway, if you didn't hear the discussion that I had with Jay Buchanan about the anthem, about the new Rival Sons album, about the tour, we talked about his amazing hats. He went into like this whole story about where he gets all his crazy hats from. I had to ask him about that. So definitely go and check out episode 155 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. We'll talk about the album and the show and the tour coming up. And if you're wondering who is going to be on the podcast this week, excited to welcome back the one and only Josh Todd from Buckcherry, who has not been on the podcast since the early days of the Mistress Carrie podcast in the height of the pandemic in 2020. And their new album, Volume 10, is coming out this Friday as well. So I got a chance to catch up with my very old friend, Josh Todd from Buckcherry. We talked about some mutual friends in Nashville. We talked about the writing process that him and longtime guitar player Stevie from Buckcherry have, how they work on new music. We talked about Josh Todd's tattoos. We talked about his kids, his work ethic, brought up his vocal warm-ups again, because he comes up a lot in the podcast. Most recently, when I was talking to Chris Daughtry about taking care of his voice, and Josh Todd was also giving me some vocal kind of advice because my voice has been getting so strained by all of the radio that I've been doing recently. So I'm really excited to have Josh Todd from Buckcherry back on the show. Buckcherry announcing more tour dates. And like I said, their 10th studio album is one of the many rock records that are coming out this week. So Volume 10 from Buckcherry out this Friday. Episode 156 of the Mistress Carrie podcast comes out at midnight tonight. So if you don't subscribe to the podcast, not only do you get the weekly interviews, the full-length episodes come out every Wednesday, but every Monday through Friday, you also get the Sit Rep, which breaks down all of your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates, everything from film, streaming television, technology, music streaming, music licensing, and all of the stuff that gets sold. Obviously, new releases, biopic movies, like all of that kind of stuff is all boiled down into the Sit Rep, and it's right around 5 minutes long. 5.5, 6.5, 7 minutes sometimes. But you get the Sit Rep every weekday. And if you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, or if you haven't yet, you can subscribe basically anywhere. There's tons of places the podcast is available, including the audio versions of the episodes are up on YouTube. Somebody did ask where the video versions are. The video interview portions are not available yet because not all the interviews that I do are video. Most of them are not face-to-face in studio. A lot of them are done via Zoom or Skype. Some of them are done by phone. So it's a little bit difficult. You know, I'm not Joe Rogan where everybody just comes to my studio. Sometimes like Billy Corgan, I interviewed him. He was in Australia. So I don't always get video. So Jessica says, I love Buckcherry. Keith says, Crazy Bitch is my best karaoke song. I'll tell you a little story about Crazy Bitch real quick. Just talking about Buckcherry. So one of the most rock and roll things that ever happened to me, and I've talked to you guys about it. There's tons of pictures up on my Facebook page. Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC got asked to take part in Live 8, not Live Aid, Live 8. And Live 8 was the same kind of thing, but with festivals all around the world. And Live 8 Toronto had Daryl McDaniels, and he needed a rock band. So Elliot Easton from the Cars, members of Aerosmith, Josh Todd and Xavier from Buckcherry got invited. They basically put a band together to perform with Daryl McDaniels. And I was on the air at AAF at the time and hosting Real Rock TV. And Ian Barrett from Real Rock TV and I got invited to go to Live 8 in Toronto so that we could document this whole Daryl McDaniels performance at Live 8. And we got to leave out of Hanscom on a private jet and fly to Toronto with guys from Aerosmith, with Daryl McDaniels, with the guys from Buckcherry. And one of the things, so they did rehearsal, they did the whole thing, and they had this like limo bus that took us from the airfield to the rehearsals, back and forth to the hotel, then to Live 8, because they had like a back entrance to get the artists in. It's definitely the most OG rock and roll rock star thing. It was the first time I ever flew on a private jet, which I highly recommend if you ever get the chance to do it. It's ridiculous. And so one of the things was while we were on the limo bus and we were on our way, I believe, to rehearsals, Josh Todd was like, hey, we just finished new music. Can I play you what we think is going to be the first single? And I was like, hell yeah. He's like, I want to get your opinion. And so he, I can't remember how I listened to it. I think it was on like an iPod, and he had a pair of like noise canceling headphones. So there I am sitting in a limo bus with like the guys from Aerosmith, Daryl McDaniels, Elliot Easton from the Cars, like all of these rock stars. It was insane. And I put the headphones on and he pressed play. And that's the first time I heard Crazy Bitch. And I was like, and I said to Josh, I listened to it a couple times, and I said, I'm going to tell everybody that you wrote this song about me. And he was like, okay, go ahead. So all these years later, that's my Buckcherry Crazy Bitch story. So Jen says, saw that a little black pug was missing in Leominster today, but they found its owner. I literally would have like been out there looking for this dog with Wednesday. I can't even imagine. Steven says, back on again. Wait, did I cut out for a second? Let's see. Oh yeah, Shimon Moore was there as well, Shannon. Absolutely. Hey, Carrie, does Josh Todd still do phlebotomy? Mark, we actually talked about it in this week's episode as well. One of the many things he did to keep himself occupied during the pandemic. I don't think he really has time to do the phlebotomy stuff now, but I believe his certification is all still good. Keith says, I can tell you a story about Crazy Bitch. I used to date her. Jessica says, how is your mom and your shoulder? Jessica, thank you for asking. The shoulder is getting stronger and stronger all the time. I was with mom yesterday. My sister and I went and spent pretty much, most of the holiday with mom yesterday. Had lunch with mom. She's good. All I can tell you is that, the disease is progressing. She's not obviously getting better. Alzheimer's doesn't have a get better. She's happy. She's eating. She definitely is not as talkative as she used to be. She is losing dexterity in her hands. Her posture is not great anymore. She's kind of hunched over and her hands are kind of up, and it's a posture that is very familiar to the loved ones of Alzheimer's patients. She put a beating on a double cheeseburger patty and fries from Five Guys and a chocolate shake, which is like my mom's favorite meal for us to bring to her. She likes pizza as well, but for some reason, the cheeseburgers from Five Guys, the fries and the chocolate shakes, like she is just so all about it. And even though sometimes she either can't find the words to respond to us or doesn't understand what we're saying to her, she definitely enjoys the lunches when we get together. And my sister and I, whenever we go see her, we have noticed that, and I suggest anybody that, has any kind of, contact with Alzheimer's patients. My mom, music was everything to her. And so my sister and I put forth a lot of effort to listen to my mom's favorite music when we're with her, specifically the Beatles. And even though she doesn't sing along, she does seem to become more aware and alert when we play the music. So, she's happy, blissfully unaware of her illness from what we can tell. I was bringing her a refreshed summer and spring wardrobe and making sure that, her clothes are all matched up like Garanimals from when we were kids, that all the outfits and all the parts kind of match each other. But it's very difficult to leave there and kind of shake off the sadness. I talked to Mike Shue today for a while, and I was kind of talking to him about that. And I think anybody that has taken care of a loved one that is suffering from a debilitating disease like that, you have to kind of find a way to process it and to kind of let it flow through you, because it definitely, I have to psych myself up for the ride to see her, because it's like you're preparing yourself for what you're going to see. And then obviously when I'm there, it's just all about her, making sure that she's happy and clean and dressed well and entertained and well fed and having all of her favorite things. And then the ride home is usually really difficult, just kind of processing and finding a way to accept the reality of the situation. And Jonathan says, as long as she's happy, that's important. If you ask for a refill of the fries at Five Guys, they always give it. So I watch them, right? Because me, my sister, and my mom, we all got cheeseburgers, and we always just split a large fry because it's enough French fries for like an elephant. And so they put the large fry in the bag, and then they just put a scoop of loose fries in the bag too. And I was like, but my mom, she's a tiny lady, but she can put back some fries. And she was like really agitated that there was no more chocolate shake in the cup, because she was all about it. Eric says, Carrie, most of my family is gone. All you can do is enjoy the family time that's here. Eric, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's just the enjoyment part is hard, because it's very difficult to see the person that you love that looks like the person you remember just not be the same. So it's hard. But I was really glad that I went and saw her yesterday. She seemed really happy at the visit. We were there to help get her cleaned up, get her dressed, to be able to make sure that she took her medicine. And then she wanted to lay down and take a nap. And that's kind of when we took off. So Tracy says, Tony Bennett has Alzheimer's. They play his music and he knows all the words. Tracy, it's unbelievable how music still has these connections. And I don't know if it's because they're early memories. Like, I wonder if Tony Bennett remembers all of his classics, but if he remembers the newer songs or not. It's totally possible that he does, because everybody handles it different. Everybody's brain is wired differently. But my mom really always loved music and gave that gift of music loving to me. And so she definitely, the music to her brightens her up, which, we always like to see. Heidi says, Carrie, I'm glad that she's happy. My mom loved to get her hair cut and her nails done, and it put her in a good mood. Heidi, my mom used to like to do that when she was healthy. Now we get her hair cut for her. She won't let them dye it anymore, which my mom always dyed her hair. That also runs in the family. Spoiler alert, my hair is not naturally purple. And she won't let them dye it anymore. And so it's weird seeing her with gray hair. And they also take care of her nails, hands, her fingernails and her toenails, but she won't sit still long enough to have them polished. So her nails are neatly kept and manicured, but not polished, because she won't let them do it anymore. Jessica says, Five Guys French fries are so awesome. It's because they leave the skin on. Three of the things for me that make great French fries, I like fries with the skin on, number one. Number two, I like them hot out of the fryer. And number three, there is different salts, right? There's the coarse salt, there's kosher salt, there's regular table salt, like Morton's, like table salt, the iodized salt. But then there's the powdered salt. Powdered salt on French fries is absolute goat. It's so freaking good. And I believe Five Guys uses the powdered salt, which is so good. So Rachel says, music was the key to connecting with my grandmother. When she was slipping away from Alzheimer's, my mom would put on the songs from her generation. She would know every word and and still sung in perfect key. My mom is not able to sing the songs, but she definitely... Brianna says, speak for yourself. I still maintain this is my natural color. All right, Brianna, if you're going, I'm in. You and me against the world. I went through the same thing with my mom. There were times when she would be in the moment, sharp as a tack. I saw a medium after my mom came through and recited everything I said to her during the last few hours when she was unconscious. She thanked me for visiting her as much as we did. They said that they do know you're there despite the disease, so keep doing what you're doing. She knows. You're going to have to give me a second on that one. Whew. Sea salt and vinegar fries are my jam, says Heidi. Honey mustard and French fries, you're welcome, says Mark. Walter, get to Five Guys now. We need to get Five Guys to sponsor the podcast, or at least the War Room. Michael says, and they tell you what farm the potatoes come from, which is pretty cool too. I love that. You had me at potatoes, says Dave. Trust me, I am right there with you. Like, I haven't met a potato product that I didn't love. It's brutal. Let's see. Heidi says, wow, really? I just got the chills. Yeah, exactly. Like, because we wonder that, you know, when we're visiting with her, like, does she know somewhere in there? The brain is just so weird. You know, you go back and watch the Metallica 1 video all about the veteran that's trapped in his brain and can't communicate. And it just brutal. Walter, get the Happy Meals. I'm also a big fan of like the poutine, the fries with the cheese curds and the gravy. Like, seriously, you can put almost anything on French fries and they're delicious. I've also had the fries nachos, where it's basically French fries, but with all the nacho toppings on top. Oh, so good. Annette says, oh my God, I miss Boardwalk fries. I'm part Irish. Potatoes are my life. Wait, is Boardwalk fries gone? Or Annette, are you just too far from the beach to be able to get them? Don't break my heart and tell me the Boardwalk fries is gone, because like that's part of, for me, pizza at Salisbury Beach, Boardwalk fries at Hampton, and the Blinks fried dough are like what my childhood vacations tasted like, for sure. Tracy says, I love poutine. Oh, carbs. I cannot resist them. Jonathan, I get it. I do not have an addictive personality when it comes to drugs or alcohol. I was able to quit cigarettes years and years and years ago, but carbs and cheese, man, it's a thing. So good. Pier fries at OOB. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. 100%. All right. So we talked about all of the podcast outlets. Let's talk about all the locations. Still holding strong at 149 locations of where you can hear the Mistress Carrie podcast. So thank you to everybody that helps me spread the word. Also, lots of birthdays. If you are celebrating your birthday today on May 30th, you share it with Brian Fair from Shadows Fall, Patrick Dahlheimer from Live, Sven Pippin from The Black Crows, Stephen Duffy from Duran Duran, Nikki Heaton from The Clash, and the one and only Tom Morello from Audioslave, Rage Against the Machine. So many projects. I think he's got 5 bands, something like that. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, cheers. And if you are celebrating your unbirthday today, Keith, cheers to you as well. All right, let's see. Hold on. Lots to talk about in music, too. Lots of tours got announced. Stain's new album isn't coming out until September, but the new song, Lowest in Me, they're doing the video premiere tomorrow on their YouTube channel for the first single. Stained, of course, going to be out on the road with Godsmack all summer long. This past weekend, the Foo Fighters were at Boston Calling, inviting Shane Hawkins up on the drums. You'll remember Shane, the teenage son of Taylor Hawkins, who played My Hero at the Taylor Hawkins tribute. Dave Grohl saying that all of the band members' families were in attendance at Boston Calling. They invited Shane Hawkins out, and you'll remember his daughter, Violet Grohl, was in attendance at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion on Wednesday night. Coming up in a few weeks, Candlebox Unplugged album with all 4 original members called Live at the Neptune is coming out. The Dropkick Murphys, they got added last minute to Boston Calling in place of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And the Dropkicks also announced their tour. They've got dates in Maine, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. All of the dates in New England are on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. And it already aired, so we're going to have to go back and watch it after the fact. But America's Got Talent featured Steel Panther tonight. Can't wait to find out why. Look at the hiccups. Okay. Shows at the TD Garden. Greta Van Fleet at the Garden on September 15th. Queen and Adam Lambert at the Garden on October 15th. Aerosmith on the Peace Out Farewell Tour with the Black Crowes on New Year's Eve. And there is another concert that's happening this fall that is going to get announced for the Garden, I believe, this week. And it's big. But I can't tell you. Sworn to secrecy. We'll talk about it next week. You'll know about it when it gets announced. And you'll go, oh, that's the one Carrie was talking about. Speaking of the Garden, the live music venue Big Night Live has the Sisters of Mercy playing there tomorrow night and Tarja coming up on June 18th. Tickets for both of those shows on sale now, and they are available. Shows for the Xfinity Center, everybody from Dave Matthews and Avenged Sevenfold to Party Gras. That's Bret Michaels with Night Ranger, Jefferson Starship, and Mark McGrath. We were just talking about Godsmack and Stained. Mudvayne, that one's got everybody from Cold Chamber and Nonpoint to Guar and the Butcher Babies. That's July 30th. Jelly Roll's documentary called Save Me came out today on Hulu. And he's got his new album coming out on Friday. We got a whole list of new releases coming up. Jelly Roll is going to be at the Xfinity on August 4th. Foreigner on August 5th. Disturbed with Breaking Benjamin and Ginger on August 18th. Ghost with Amon Amarth on the 19th. Nickelback on the 22nd of August. Offspring on September 3rd. Shinedown, Papa Roach, and Spirit Box on the 23rd of September. So lots of shows coming to the Xfinity Center. Let's see. The Hollywood Vampires, that show at the Wang tomorrow night, rescheduled to July 28th. And tonight's show at the SNHU Arena, scheduled for July 29th. Extreme and Living Color at Roadrunner coming up August 5th. They're going to be up in Maine. They're going to be at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. Extreme and Living Color are going to be all over the place. Aaron Lewis at Foxwoods. There's so many shows. The Palladium, Rival Sons, tomorrow night. Weezer at the Palladium outdoors. Sleep Token, completely sold out the Palladium on September 12th. Parkway Drive at the Palladium on September 15th. And then looking at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. The Pixies, Les Claypool, Yellow Card, Noel Gallagher, Newfound Glory, Mastodon and Gojira for 2 shows. Beck, Billy Idol, that got announced last week and went on sale. Motionless in White, In Time for Halloween. These shows just got added today. Danzig on September 11th. He's going to be performing his entire debut solo album at that show. And 3 Days Grace and Chevelle announced for the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. Both Danzig and 3 Days Grace and Chevelle go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. And yes, those shows have been added to the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Also coming up at the House of Blues, Thrice on June 2nd, the Struts on July 18th, Corey fucking Taylor just a couple days before CMF2, his new solo album gets released. The album comes out on September 15th. He'll be at the House of Blues on September 13th. Okay, are you ready? Look at this list of new releases coming out on Friday. And this is just the rock records. This is the biggest release day of the entire year. Avenged Sevenfold coming out on Friday. Bob Dylan releasing Shadow Kingdom this Friday. Buckcherry's Volume 10. The Cowboy Junkies, Such Ferocious Beauty. The new Foo Fighters, But Here We Are. The Hollywood Vampires live in Rio. The new Jelly Roll Wits at Chapel. Louise Post from Veruca Salt, who I believe is who Dave Grohl wrote Everlong about. Her debut solo album coming out on Friday. called Sleepwalker. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats releasing What If I, their new EP. Nickelback releasing the Get Rolling Deluxe Edition. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Council Skies comes out. Rancid's album, Tomorrow Never Comes. Roger Waters, The Lockdown Sessions, the physical releases, that includes the vinyl. Rival Sons, Dark Fighter comes out on Friday. Tiger Cub, The Perfume of Decay, and Young the Giant, both sides, their new EP. These are all coming out on Friday. An insane amount of new records. It's just crazy. Jessica says, I love 3 Days Grace. Holy shite, says Penny. Wow, that is badass and amazing. Avenged Sevenfold. That is a shit ton of new music. I heard their new song about Taylor Hawkins. If you're talking about Rescued, the reviews on the new Foos, by the way, are fantastic. Saying that it is Dave Grohl at his best, processing the grief and the loss of Taylor Hawkins on this album in a major way. My Spotify will be slammed. Exactly. I heard Kitty's doing a new album. Penny, they are. Rival Sons. Mike Lavoie says, tomorrow night at the Palladium. Got to go see him. Any way to win raffle tickets, Paul? There's so many shows. So much new music. Bish says, Carrie was listening to you in Worcester this afternoon on the Pike. That is fantastic. Thank you very much. House of Blues tomorrow for K-Flay. Carrie, could you get an interview with her sometime? Maybe. Let's see. Drink to the typo for Aaron Lewis. Wait, is that a typo? Hold on. Where's the typo? Now you got me curious. Where is it? No, not there. Are you just trying to get me drunk, or was there really a typo? Where is it? Can't find it. I don't believe you. Okay, anyway, mail call this week. So last week I was telling you that I had some house guests that were from the staff of the Black Knights, the parachute team from West Point. So I got a little surprise. They gave me a Black Knights parachute team t-shirt. I also got a really sweet thank you card from the military academy and the West Point parachute team. And they also sent me this very cool poker chip that I got as well. They sent me a bunch of stickers too that I have plastered all over MCHQ. So I want to say what's up to everybody on the Black Knights, the West Point parachuting team. Thank you guys for what you do. And happy graduation, because they just graduated last week from the military academy as well. There's about 1,000 graduates from West Point, every graduating class, which is pretty spectacular. All right, so this week, got a picture from Denise. So you show me your MC. If you get gear off the Mistress Carrie website, you got to send me pictures of you wearing it. So longtime War Room member Denise sent me this picture. Her son stole her War Room t-shirt, which is why there's the smiling face. But they went and saw Godsmack at Mohegan Sun over the weekend and sent me the picture. So heard the show is amazing. Didn't get a chance to make it. Really want to go and see Godsmack and Stained later this year at the Xfinity Center. But I worked pretty much all weekend and really wanted to be able to free up enough of my day yesterday to be able to go see Mom. So I was pretty stacked up on Sunday night and was not able to go and see Godsmack at Mohegan. But you rock, Denise. You got to show me your MC and send me your pictures wearing the Mistress Carrie gear. And you can get all of your gear at mistresscarrie.com. Just go to the shop. By the way, the latest stuff in the shop is these Slate coasters. They are veteran made in Massachusetts, and they're running very low in the inventory. So there's, if it's on the website, then it's in stock. But I will tell you that supplies are getting low and we're going to have to put in a new order. So if you are looking to give these as a gift, you want to have them for the summer, for all of your sweaty drinks this summer cocktail season, get to mistresscarrie.com and get your Slate coasters with the cocktails and the War Room logo on it. They're really well made and they are very, very cool. So, okay. If you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, first of all, I apologize. We were supposed to get together last Thursday night. And like I told you guys before, I worked double shifts last week. And I got done and was like, I'm just going to lay down for a little while. And then I woke up 3 hours later from a very deep nap with a pug on my chest. And we were supposed to get together for a live stream. So guys, I'm definitely going to reschedule the live stream. I don't know when it's going to be yet, but it's going to be very soon. So I will definitely give you the date. But one of the things, if you get a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass on Patreon, is you get exclusive live streams. Most of the time I don't sleep through them. I apologize. You can also submit podcast interview questions because you get notified before anybody else who's coming up on the show. Travel blog updates. There is a big trip coming later this summer. I'll fill you guys in on that coming up. And there'll definitely be all kinds of travel blogs, exclusive photos, all of that. Early access to event tickets, merch discount codes, exclusive concert ticket giveaways. If you have a Backstage Pass, you now have access to tickets to see Avenged Sevenfold, tickets to the Bret Michaels Party Gras. That's got the Bret Michaels Band, Night Ranger, Jefferson Starship, Mark McGrath, and also tickets to the Mudvayne Tour with Cold Chamber, Nonpoint, Guar, and Butcher Baby. So if you have a Backstage Pass, you guys know how to request tickets. Do it through Patreon, but you now have access to all of these shows, and there's more coming. So if you don't have a Backstage Pass yet, membership definitely has its privileges. I'm also hoping to be able to do some more ticket giveaways here in the War Room this summer as well, because it's going to be a very busy concert season. Don't forget all the places you can find me on social. All the places are there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Cameo, YouTube, Patreon. Obviously, we were just talking about it. Also, you can download the Bone app and download the Pike app. So it depends on what kind of music you like. The Pike is a little more classic rock. The Bone is a little more harder rock and heavy metal. But both of those shows are on every day. Download whatever station app. You can listen from anywhere you want. And both of those apps also feature the Mistress Carrie podcast episodes as well. So next War Room deployment, don't know yet, but we're working on it. I am waiting to hear back. The guys from Regimental Spirit Company, Regimental Whiskey, want to do another event, and they want to do a fundraiser for a veterans organization. So we are working on that right now. So definitely going to be at some point, I believe this summer, we're going to do another War Room on deployment. I just don't know when it's going to be yet. Road trip on the Fat Boy, I hope. Blame it on the pug, says Michael. Whatever happened to LB, Michael wants to know. LB kind of retired from public life and is just kind of grooving on trying to maintain his health and to be a good dad, which is great. Let's see. Dang it. I already bought my Avenged Sevenfold ticket, says Annette. Don't blame it on the pug, says Jessica. The Bone is harder, Rachel says. Yes, the Bone is a little harder. Can I listen with my pants on? Sure, or off. Either way, it's totally fine. Let's see. Saw the Foo Fighters in New Hampshire. First show without Taylor since 97. Was a very emotional moment later on in the show. Michael, I saw all of the footage. I saw the Taylor Hawkins tribute. I saw Dave Grohl crying on stage. Just heart-wrenching. The fact that those guys are carrying on, and unlike when Kurt Cobain died, that fans aren't giving Dave Grohl crap for wanting to continue on with his musical career, which they did a lot when he started the Foo Fighters. They gave him a lot of shit, which I just don't understand. Carrie, still want to do this road show that I talked to you about. Keith, I totally get it. Just trying to manage everything this summer. There's so much going on. Jessica wants to know if you asked Sully about the Scars Foundation. I have not talked to Sully because he's been out on the road. So I didn't get a chance to see him at Mohegan. I'll definitely see him at the Xfinity Center coming up in July. I just don't know when I'm going to talk to him next. He's out on the road and he's super busy. So my son needs to give me his itinerary for the summer. He's a busy bee and he's my driver, says Betty. Jessica says music is very therapeutic. What's up, Carrie? I'm late, but I made it, says Ralph. It's all good. You just made it because we're finishing up the show. You can get all the details on all of this stuff and hopefully new stations on the way. By the way, I'm working on it. All the links, just go to mistresscarrie.com and all the links are all up there. So, all right, guys, that's it. Drinks almost done. Episode 234 of Cocktails in the War Room in the books. Coming to my YouTube channel. If you tuned in late, you can go back and watch the video either on Facebook or on YouTube. And don't forget episode 156 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, which I cannot believe. Which, by the way, guys, this week, 3 years ago, we announced the podcast. And the first episode came out in June, which the podcast is going to be 3 years old. It's insane to me. 156 episodes in and counting. We haven't missed a week with a new full-length episode. We have missed days with the sit rep because it's hard for me to do that while I travel, but 156 consecutive brand new episodes since we launched the podcast, which is pretty insane. So, all right, everybody, stay cool this week. I don't know where everybody is, but in Massachusetts, we're going to hit 90 degrees before we get some much needed rain at the end of the week. And I guess go Red Sox because we can't cheer on the Celtics anymore. And the Pats, well, we got to wait till fall. So, all right. Good night, guys. Episode 156 coming out at midnight tonight. And I will see you guys next week for episode 235 of Cocktails in the War Room. Bye.